recorded live right here in Little Rock, Arkansas. It's time again for Larry's rants, raves, and reviews. Now here's Larry.
Well, we have a very special guest on this episode, Roger Goodwin, who is with Hooked on Heroes. Randy, you're going to like this. It's all about fishing,
well,
okay?
You know, I just found out that he does a lot of bass fishing.
Yeah.
And I do 100% crappie. So,
yeah.
You know, that's fine.
I do both.
I don't mess with trash. I mean bass fish.
All right now. Be careful. Be careful. Hey, what is Hooked on Heroes all about? Roger, thank you for coming in and being with us today on this episode. But let's just start out with telling everybody from what I understand, Hooked on Heroes is all about taking veterans fishing. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. That's our main focus.
Okay.
Is taking veterans fishing, getting them out on the water, having a good time, able to relax, and just forget about anything that's going on in their lives or, past experiences.
Yeah.
Get out of their head, as you will.
Yeah.
Where they can just be themselves and have a good time and not worry about anything for at least a few hours.
Yeah, well, I think we're all sitting here, we're all fishermen, and one thing about it, you can have the world crashing down in on you and all of a sudden go fishing for a few hours and you feel a whole lot better.
I know that's true because that's why I love to fish, because it turns off everything. You're focused completely on those fish and having a good time, and your mind is, all the other stuff is gone.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, I think it's great. It's something. Now, when did you start this?
We started October of 2015.
Oh, okay.
Come to me as just an idea of a way of giving back, to our veteran community.
Okay.
We, especially the combat soldiers, they come back home with the PTSD, TBI, different ailments, different injuries, physical and mental both, and we help, like I said, get them out and relax and kind of forget about those problems they have for a while.
Right.
And help them get through. One of our mottos is it's kind of like, it's kind of like Vegas. What happens on that boat stays on that boat. So they can, that male or female soldier, either one can be themselves, with our captains.
Okay.
Our captains are myself, and we've got several other that all volunteer. Nobody gets paid for anything.
Okay.
And it's all free for each and every veteran. We take care of everything from the fuel to the food, the drinks, the baits, the rods, the reels, everything. Now,
okay.
We do have a few veterans that fish and want to bring their own, and that's okay too.
Sure.
So it's just whatever they want to do. We can't all be top-notch bass fishermen, and have to get ourselves down to this crappie thing, our guy next to us is talking about here. So, but we do have
war brewing.
We do have guides that we do catfishing, we do crappie, we'll do bluegill, bass. We've even got guys that'll take veterans trout fishing and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
So we can accommodate just about any interest.
Now,
there.
Is mainly all of this done in Central Arkansas?
Just about all of it is. Now, we do branch out. I've got a lot of help from several of my pro bass fishermen that get to know people in other parts of the country.
Oh, okay.
And so we do have people reach out to us. Matter of fact, right now we're working on a trip for striper for a soldier in Maine.
Oh, wow.
So, it takes a village.
Yeah.
It really does. You network out and get to meet people and know people, and so that you can do that.
Do you ever go to Alaska up in salmon?
Not been up there yet. That's one thing we hadn't done. Now in April, we was on Toledo Bend in Louisiana. It's right on the Texas-Louisiana line. and we took 35 vets in a tournament. And I had 2 guys reach out. One was from New Orleans and one was from Lafayette. And I took both of them fishing. They met me down there, and I took them out before the actual tournament for 2 days. Okay. So we just basically practiced for the tournament with them guys and got them out on the water.
Now, Russell Steed, who is with us in our audience here in our studio, he and I had talked on the phone, and he mentioned something about that you do 2 tournaments a year. Is that correct?
Yes. We've got one coming up, matter of fact, this week. We partner with Arkansas Freedom Fund, which is another organization. They do hunting, they do fishing, they do golf, bicycling. They do a lot of different things other than us, but they do have a fishing tournament every year that we partner with them, and we basically get the captains and some of the vets and put it together and just work with them.
Okay.
And then, we'll go out. We've got 15 in the tournament this year on Saturday.
Awesome.
And then we'll put on an actual Hooked on Heroes tournament the end of September, 1st of October, before deer season gets started, and we'll do that on the river in Little Rock.
Okay, yeah.
So
he had mentioned that you did one over here in Little Rock as well. You're the only part of this organization. It's not like there's different chapters all over the country. This is kind of your thing that you birthed, that you started, and I think he mentioned that there's one that maybe in Clearwater, Florida,
there is.
Does something similar.
It's they do saltwater.
Okay.
Is the difference. And when I started this, I had no idea who they were or anything. They actually started about a year or 2 years after us, I believe.
Okay.
But they're down in the Gulf, down there in Florida, and do saltwater. We get a lot of guys that send us messages from down that way, and I have to redirect them.
Yeah.
Just because the name is the same.
Yeah.
But, it's all, I like to say 2 teams, 1 fight.
Yeah.
As long as we're on the same page and doing the things the right way to help our veterans, then it doesn't matter how many it takes.
Now, I think Russell mentioned to me that you have 5 captains and various types of boats. Are all 5 of the captains veterans as well?
No. We've only got, let's see, 2, maybe 3 that are veterans themselves.
Okay.
And then the rest are just civilians that want to give back.
Good people that want to help out the vets.
And I've got one that's an officer. He's a retired officer that helps, and then the rest of them are just civilians, just normal people that just want to give back and help our veterans for what they do.
Okay. Let me ask you this question. If somebody would be listening to this, and of course, we have no idea where all they're listening from, okay? I mean, we put this out and they could be all over the world for all we know. If somebody was listening to this and said, hey, I got a boat and I like to take people fishing, could they contact you and become a captain, in maybe a different part of the state or a different part of the country?
Of course. We always will take volunteers, no matter what. We will find some veterans somewhere that they could take fishing.
Okay.
Well, if you have any veterans that want to go crappie fishing, I mean, I go by myself all the time. I try to go at least once a week, and me and Cricket, my dog, and a lot of times I can't find anybody to go with me. And I've got all the live scope. I've got crappie breaks. I've got it all. And
I can promise you,
so
finding a veteran to go crappie fishing
if they want to go crappie
fishing,
fine. But if they're out for bass,
I will get that on our Facebook page.
They're on their own.
They're just out of luck.
They can go. I mean, I've had people I've taken crappie fishing. They bring their bass pole. I said that's great. And so I'll be fishing for crappie, and I'll see a bass swim. I said, "There's a bass 30 feet that way," and boom, he gets it. Yeah. But I'm not. I'm gonna be looking for crappie, and if I see a bass, I'll tell you. But we're gonna be fishing for crappie, and you get to eat them. You take them home. We keep them and eat them. Anything over 10 inches.
That's a big deal right there. We do have a lot of our veterans, especially our older veterans, that really like the crappie fishing because it's slower paced. It's easier for them. You know, and when you find somebody that knows what they're doing, now I guess that remains to be seen if he really knows what he's doing yet.
Yeah.
But,
let me tell you this. I've got an uncle that really he's in California. Larry knows who I'm talking about. And he's a veteran. And he wants to come crappie fishing. The only problem is I'm getting ready to go out there, and it's his 101 birthday.
Oh, wow.
Now, I'm going to tell you, he was in the Marine Raiders, the first group of the Marine Raiders. He was 16 years old when he joined right after Pearl Harbor. Everybody was joining, lying about their age. And he got to go to Iwo Jima, you know, where the flag is, and you have the statue. He was there. He was at that battle.
Wow.
And he was stabbed by a bayonet once. He was shot another time. He was shot by a machine gun. Still lived through it all. They wanted to cut off his arm. He said, no, don't cut off my arm. And he lived through it all, got all kind of medals. Last year when he was, I don't mean to take all this away, but he was 100 years old, and the Marines in California gave him a huge birthday party, and we were there. We flew all the way there. We're going to fly out there again and see him, but he just, when he would come here with Daddy before they died, they would go crappie fishing. Of course, they didn't have all the live scope and all that, but they would just catch them. Mom and Daddy just knew how to do it without the live scope, you know, and I've got to cheat, but he loved it. He's a vet, so I have to show you a picture of him. He's got all kind of medals and all kinds of stuff.
I would love that. I got the privilege of taking a World War II veteran fishing over in Hot Springs on Hamilton one day. But now he was stateside. Him and his brother both got drafted. And he ended up stateside in California working on the radar systems of the ships then. And he went on to the Apollo projects and worked for Northrop Grumman after that. And his father was a World War I veteran that was from another country. They were immigrants here. They came here after when he got away. He was from Poland and was recruited or made to fight with the Russians in World War I, and got out of there and came to New York and become a watchmaker.
Wow.
And of course, back then, pocket watches, repairing, clock repair, all that stuff was a big deal. He put 5 kids through college, married a lady here, put 5 kids through college and everything as a watchmaker. Wow. And his brother was in the Marine Corps and was at D-Day.
Oh, wow.
He was at Normandy. He was and survived. He lives in Florida. So they both, one passed away 2 years ago, and I think I got word last year that his brother had passed away. He was 93, I think. 95 and 93.
You know, I'm sure that you started this because it's therapeutic for the veteran, but I would also think that whoever the fishing guide is going to get out there, and in a couple of hours sitting on a boat with someone, you're going to strike up some of the best conversations and hear probably some of the best stories that you could have.
Yes.
You know?
And I'll tell you this. We had our first tournament in 2016, April of 2016. We took 16 veterans over to Lake Hamilton and had a tournament. All 16 of those captains and those veterans are still in touch today. And that was our very first one. And two of our veterans became captains with us for a while and have sold boats and moved on to other things. But
do you fish with all the live scope and all that? You do? Okay.
I do now.
How big is your screen?
It's a 12.
I got a 16.
always got a one up.
I had a 10, I upgraded the 12, and then I went down to Darbone and down Louisiana, and my guide, I hired a guide one day, and he had a 16. He was showing me. I said, "Gotta have it, got $5,000. I had to upgrade it." Yeah, but man, I'm telling you, it's like a big screen TV. Yep. It's like high definition.
Yep. But I'll tell you, I have learned, if you take a 9-inch or a 10-inch and put up against one of those, yeah, they're clear.
Yeah.
But the smaller the screen, they're actually a little clearer. They're just harder to see.
Yeah, I know.
But if you get down there and actually really looking at them, the 9-inch and 10-inch is actually a clearer picture.
Yeah, it's just too small.
The resolution,
just ain't that big.
Right, I know. Yeah.
I want to go to a 19-inch.
I saw a guy on.
He'll have a 48-inch screen.
He put a comment. He wanted to hook a TV to his depth finder. Wanted to know how to do it.
I got the crappie brakes that stop you. You coming up on a brush pile, and you don't want to turn the motor around and push all this water into the brush pile. So 20 feet back, you got two brakes on your down poles there, and it's like rear thrusters.
Yep.
And then I've got ordered. It's called Spy Lock. Have you seen Spy Lock?
Not Spy Lock.
Yes.
I have Spot Lock, but not Spy Lock.
This is Spy Lock, and what it does, it takes the pole that your transducer's on, and if you see a brush pile, you click it, and it'll stay on that brush pile no matter where the boat is.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow, yes.
Now, that's a new one.
That's So my boat can always see. I got it on a pole right now. I've got to keep them every 10 seconds. Larry will say, "Focus it. Where are the fish?" I've got to focus it over here because it's the boat's moving.
I'm a little nicer than
that. The boat's moving, and so then so now I don't have to mess with the transducer at all. I see that, and then it's got auto scan. You pan when you're going along, pans left and right. You're looking 100 yards this way, 100 yards that way, going this way, and then you see something, you lock it in, and you just ease up on it. It'll stay on that brush pile.
That is crazy. The technology. The technology's
$1,500. That's just for the pole.
Just the pole. Yeah. Well, the new LVS 36, they say it's coming out. It's like $2,700.
Yeah. They said I could use my 34, and the 36 is for deeper and I don't know other things. And he said if you're not into the deep, he said the 34 will work fine.
It's fine. That's what we got. It's 34s, and I had a 32. And
the
only difference between the 32 and 34 that I've seen personally is just the clarity.
Yeah,
it's the clarity of it, but it works well. And you see these videos. You've seen those videos of where you can see the actual fish and tell it's a fish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what they don't tell you is those fish have to be really huge to be able to do that. And I, even the 34s, I was on Greer's Ferry and come across, I was bass fishing, of course, and was chasing some bass, and they run up shallow. And there was some carp up there. There's about 4 carp up there that weighed about 30 pounds apiece.
Yeah.
And the water's so clear you could see them with your eyes.
Yeah.
But you turn that live scope on them, and you could see their fins, their tails moving. You could it looked like those videos.
I was on Maumelle, and I had some Chinese neighbors that had the mom and 2 kids in the boat with me. The kids never been fishing, These Chinese people, and we're trying to catch crappie, and they just weren't on. And I looked, and I saw a bunch. It was a school, and I've seen them before, of white bass. Mm-hmm. Here they come. I said, guys, get your poles in the water. Get them in, because I knew what was going to happen. And sure enough, they came right under us. And those white bass hit those lures on those kids' poles. And you know how those white bass fight. Man, they thought they had a whale.
Yeah.
It was worth the trip just for that.
A lot of people don't eat white bass, but
I know.
They're good. You just cut that red meat out of them and season them, and they're good to eat too. We eat them all the time. But me and my dad that's one of my biggest fishing memories.
Oh,
with my dad.
Mom and Daddy used to catch them on the bank and catch them.
Yeah.
We'd have white bass all the time.
Chasing them with rubber grubs.
Yeah.
They
used silver spoons. They used to use silver spoons when they were spawning.
Wow.
Jerry McInnes. Remember the Jerry McInnes show?
Yep.
He was out there fishing on Maumelle and saw Mom and Daddy catching them, and he drove up, parked his boat, and sat right behind Mom and Daddy and videoed them. Said, I've got to get this couple up here, this couple catching all these white bass, not even in a boat.
That's crazy.
Jerry McInnes.
He was good people.
Yeah.
Jerry was a good guy.
Oh, yeah, he was.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Real good guy.
Sorry, Larry. Sorry, I didn't mean to take over your show.
No.
But he's down my alley.
No, see, right before I left, my wife Carol asked me, she goes, "You ready for this show?" And I said, "I don't have to be."
We need to change chairs.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what buttons to push over there.
Just start pushing them. You'll find it.
I'm just sitting here watching and relaxing and listening to y'all. That's good.
But yeah, let me know, and I'll take somebody crappie fishing, and I can go pretty much any day of the week because I'm semi-retired. So.
Well, during the week is better anyway.
Yes,
you're not finding the weekend crowd.
Yeah.
And
the big thing I look at is wind. Mm-hmm. And if the wind's low, I'll go, And I've got a huge 10-foot umbrella. Looks like Mary Poppins up there. If the sun gets too bright, I'll just put it up there. And
he's that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm the guy with the umbrella and the dog. Uh-huh.
You have to watch. If you go to Maumelle a lot, you got to watch the wind anyway, because that lake.
I know it's twice as much as what they say.
Last time we was out there, the wind picked up and it got cold, and I'm telling you, we were fighting.
Was that the time I got sick?
Yes.
I was trying to find fish, and it's like reading a book in a car. You get sick, man. I got seasick.
Wow. Seasick.
We were riding some whitecaps. I think there's like 3 or 4 foot tall, So.
Yeah, that lake could get crazy. Toledo Bend's another one that'll get crazy like that. But that brings up a good point too. When we take our vets out, that's our number one priority is our veteran safety.
Mm-hmm.
We strive. To make sure above anything else is that our veterans are safe. They're going to come home.
I've got 4 of those brand new real light auto inflate life jackets, or you can pull the rip cord. And I said, listen, you're doing this in honor of Steve Sherrill. He was a good friend of mine and Larry's, and he retired from Dillard's the first week he retired as big bass fisherman. Went out there on the river right here at Twins Rivers, and boat got away, and I just swim out there, and he put his wallet and his phone and all that, stacked it up, and his shoes and everything, swam out there and drowned.
That's the same thing that happened to my ex-father-in-law in Dardanelle. The exact same story.
Wow.
And his life jacket was in the boat.
Was a best swimmer in his boat.
Yeah, he swam.
Yep.
Yeah.
But so in honor
attack.
of him, everybody in the boat has to wear one of those brand new. I got them on Amazon. They're not that much. Go get them. And auto inflates. You get in the water, they open. If they don't, then you pull the rip cord and it goes.
Yep. You hear so many stories, and I need to narrow it down by an actual game and fish guy. There's stories when these guys are getting checked and they just have those, and some of them say, well, you can't just have those, you got to have a regular life jacket in the boat also, and then I hear that's not true. So I'm going to verify that one of these days, and because a couple years ago I hurt my shoulder, and so I went back to a regular life jacket simply because I was afraid if something happened and it didn't go off, I don't know how long I could tread water, or climb back in a boat.
You pull that cord and it'll go off. Because I had one. I was doing my crank, and and my cord got in the crank, and I didn't. And they went off.
I had 2 of them explode sitting on the trailer one of my customers' boats. They brought me a boat to clean, and it broke. They went off with such force that it broke the latches on the door. And they was in there latched down, and it broke the latches off the doors.
Yeah. What did it do, get wet?
No.
No?
The heat.
Oh, really?
The heat. They was sitting there.
You
It was
got to watch
summertime.
out. Heat, and then you got to watch out if it starts raining. You got to watch out.
Yeah, they was sitting out there, and all of a sudden we heard an explosion, and looked back, and the door was coming back down. I went out there, and both of them went up. They're brand new.
Yeah.
They was still in the package.
Wow.
And he had just charged them, put the CO2 in them, and they was sitting there still in the package, and they both went off same time.
Wow.
But
so I think that you guys normally go take your vets to Lake Ouachita and Lake DeGray.
Ouachita,
right?
DeGray, Hamilton.
Hamilton.
Usually
You're
we
Hamilton.
love it really depends on where the veteran is from also.
Right.
We try and make it as easy on the veteran as we can.
Yeah.
So that if they do have to drive, they have to drive a less amount of time than we do.
Well, I can tell you that Randy knows Lake Maumelle like the back of his hand. He's got a lot of honey holes that's out there that's locked in on his place. And it would, honestly, he can put people on fish. He can put you on the crappie. Now, whether they want to bite or not, that's another thing.
And the thing is on Maumelle right now is the size. I mean, you catch. I was out there and I kept 27, and they were 10 and 11 inches, but I probably caught 60, and they were 8 and 9. Some of them were just right at 10. I threw them back. But I don't know where the big ones are right now.
Is the lake coming back up any?
No. No, they got some problems still.
A lot of the riprap kept slamming into the dam that they were trying to get fixed, and it just kept beating that dam to pieces.
Oh, wow.
So now they've got to go in there and do some real work.
So now they got that brand new ramp that is just amazing.
It's nice.
They talk about
the ramp is nice. It just needs to come up. Yeah, I know you can't. You can only use one of the 2 lanes. The other one, you better not use it. You'll be in the rocks.
Yeah.
So, but they're nice. They are nice.
Those folks out there at the landing have always been really good to us.
Oh, they are.
When we take a vet out or whatever, we just go in there and
now there's no
tell
charge.
them, and they don't. They never did. They would let us. Wouldn't charge us.
Well, it's no charge on the dock.
Oh wow.
There's no charge because the water company put all that in.
Oh, I got you.
So you started out the show with five captains, and now looks like you got 6.
I've got 6.
You can throw them all in there. So honestly, I think I'd like to just tell anybody, we've got wonderful places. You got, people up around Fort Smith, and you've got Batesville, Jonesboro, up in that area. I mean, all over the state. If you own a boat and you really would like to be involved in Hooked on Heroes, why don't you give them a phone call or an email or something? While we're there, why don't we tell them, how can you? I know you're on Facebook. I follow y'all on Facebook. Are you on any other social media?
Just personally.
Okay.
Hooked on Heroes is only on Facebook at this point. I think Russell's going to work on getting us on Instagram and TikTok and those others. Now, I do some personal stuff on TikTok where I talk about Hooked on Heroes.
Oh, okay.
But we don't actually have our own page or anything like that. We'll get that done at some point.
So if you go to Facebook and search for Hooked on Heroes, and I'm going to give our listeners your email address. It's hookedonheroesar@gmail.com. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. So hookedonheroesar@gmail.com. And be sure and you can send them an email. If you've got a friend that's a vet that would like to go fishing, if you would be someone that you say, man, I've got a couple of lakes that I could take somebody to and really have some fun, maybe they can contact you and in their area. Say they're around Batesville, Just if somebody's listening to this and you say, man, I'd like to take a vet fishing, give you an email, and either Russell or yourself or someone will get a hold of them and try to get them all set up.
Exactly.
You mentioned about taking some females fishing, and I have to ask this question. Do you have any female captains that would maybe be more comfortable to take a female vet?
Absolutely.
You do?
We
Good.
do. We have several toward the Hot Springs area.
Oh, okay.
Very, very fine, upstanding ladies that now they bass fish, of course.
Sure.
But
most people do.
Yeah.
And
they haven't learned.
And they're tournament fisher ladies.
Yeah.
They fish tournaments.
Okay.
They do. Matter of fact, we've got one that represents Baggio sunglasses for her job, and is big time into the fishing industry. Does tournaments here.
Okay.
For Trader Bill's, Mr. Bass of Arkansas.
I use Trader Bill's all the time. I love them.
I do too. I do too. That's who fixes all my reels and my rods.
They do all the stuff.
He's good people. But we do. We want to any ladies the above and beyond anything else is we want them to be comfortable. We want them to feel safe. We want them to feel comfortable. Now I was talking to a lady veteran the other day that she is an officer too, and I asked her. I said, I'll set you up with one of our lady captains, and she point blank said, nope. I said, what do you mean, nope? She said, it don't matter who it is. I ain't scared of no man. And she said, I'm a combat vet and a detective. I'm not scared of no man. You just put me in a boat with whoever you can get me in with. I'm like, yes, ma'am.
He messes with me, I'll come back with his boat, right?
That's right. That's right. But we have been down that road before. And we do accommodate most of the time. I have a couple other female vets that are close to the organization, and I just call one of them and have them go with us.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, that's good.
There's 3 of us in the boat,
Sure.
2 females, and then myself usually.
Yeah.
But I don't have any captains that I would worry about.
And
in the least.
you provide all of the tackle, all of that. And then do you bring along a lunch and snacks for them, that kind of thing?
We'll bring drinks, we'll bring snacks, just kind of generalized stuff.
Yeah.
And depending on where we're going, we have stopped for lunch, stopped for dinner.
Yeah.
On the way back. Different. We've had restaurants in the past that have reached out and said, "Hey, if you're in this area, y'all stop by and we'll feed you."
Oh, that'd be great.
We have a few that does that every great once in a while. So.
I remember in my conversation with Russell, he mentioned about the people that you take on these fishing trips, they get put in a random drawing to win a trip to go to Louisiana.
Mm-hmm. We're working on some more stuff. We've got a tuna trip right now that we're working on, and we've got some other trips down in Venice. And I've actually got to go to a couple of these trips down in Venice, and we go in December, and that is one of the best.
Where is Venice?
Venice, Louisiana. It's about an hour south of New Orleans, and it's down on the coast.
South?
Yeah,
you can't get much more south than New Orleans.
But it is.
I know you can drive down there. You get in the swamps.
It's down there on the coast. It's right on the Mississippi River.
Yeah,
and you're roughly 2 to 3 miles from the Gulf.
And what are you fishing for?
Speckled trout, white trout, redfish. But we will literally go down there in December, and you can sit in one spot with the same bait. You could catch a bass, speckled trout, catfish, white trout, redfish, black drum. My captain, he's one of my captains, Donnie, went with me and just took me down there last year, and we took his boat. And he caught about a 40-pound black drum on a spinning rod with 10-pound line.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Wow. We chased that fish for 20 minutes.
Wow.
Oh, And
I was talking to Roger on the phone, and that damn near, it almost pulled Donnie into the water.
But we would literally sit, you could literally sit in one spot. We pulled up on a spot I threw out. I caught a 15-pound blue channel off this artificial shrimp. And got it in and threw right back out and caught a 5-pound redfish.
So is this saltwater or freshwater?
It's brackwater. It's mixed. It's the Mississippi and the Gulf meet, and the current and the tides, depending on if going in and out, is so strong that we were using 3/4 to 1 ounce weights.
Good grief.
And we set them up like a drop shot with a 3/4 1 ounce weight at the bottom, basically like a catfish rig, but we use a plastic voodoo shrimp about 12, 15 inches above the weight, and you just throw it out there and let it tight line.
Yeah.
And they'll come up and they just eat it.
Yeah.
And it's just sitting there.
It's
the craziest thing I've ever seen and the most fun.
It was probably 12, 15 years ago. I was supposed to go down in that area that you're talking about, and on a fishing trip, a company was taking me, and for, I believe it was yellowfin tuna. Mm-hmm. And we were supposed to go down there. I had a car accident and busted up my arm and my ribs, had a couple of broken ribs. And there was no way. No way. Mm-hmm. And I had to cancel that trip, and honestly, it just broke my heart because, man, I wanted to, because they say you can, that yellowfin tuna, you can flay it out and slice it up like steaks and grill it and everything. They say it's phenomenal. Yeah. I was going to bring home a freezer full, you know.
The last trip we was down there, the guys brought in a swordfish that was about 10 foot long. They was hanging and they was cleaning it. That was the first time I'd ever seen one of those.
Have you ever caught any sea bass?
No.
That's my favorite saltwater fish is sea bass. But I don't know where you catch it or what time of year or where to go. I don't know if it's Gulf or Pacific or Atlantic. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. We catch
that bass I'd go fishing for because, man, it's awesome.
You'd like peacock bass fishing too.
Really?
Down in Florida. Yeah.
I went one time. I was actually in Florida. As a matter of fact, I was golfing Doral, which is a big name golf place. And I come up on 18, and the green had water all around it. And the guy was standing there fishing, and he was in a golf cart. And he had fishing poles where the golf clubs normally go. Well, I got done with my round. I was in a tournament, and I got done with my round, and I just stopped over there, and I said, "What are you doing, man?" He goes, "Oh, I'm a fishing guide." I said, "On a golf course?" He goes, "Yeah." He said, I guide, and he was a young guy, probably 20. He spent half of his time in Florida golf, doing that and some deep sea as well. But he said, I spend half of my life here and then half of it in Colorado and do some guiding there. And I mean, he was 19, 20 years old, and on top of the world, you know? And so I said, well, he said, what are you doing now? I said, well, I'm done with my round. I said, I guess I'll go sit around the pool or something. He goes, you want to fish? I said, sure. So I forget. I threw him a couple of $100 and then probably another 100 or so as a tip. And he took me around the golf course.
Wow.
And he had permission. Yeah. And, and we went around there and did all the bass fishing, and he put me on some fish. I had fun.
That's awesome.
I had fun. So, well, I think that what you're doing is a very good thing. And I just hope that people will listen to this. If you know any veterans that want to go fishing, be sure and hook them up with these guys. Hooked on Heroes. Go like their page on Facebook, and if you want to be a captain and take somebody fishing, if you've got a friend, a buddy of some kind that you want to, they want to go fishing, be sure and connect them up and see if you can't help these guys. They want to grow this and get more and more involved with veterans. So I hope that you will go and like their page and help them out and all. So. Also, you could get a hold of Russell at 501-408-9511. If you're a captain or if you want to go fishing, just call Russell Steed at 501-405-9511 or send them an email and they will get in touch with you. So, guys, thank you for being on the show today. I hope that a lot of people contact you and all. Hey, as a gift, I want to give each one of you a Larry's Rants, Raves, and Reviews T-shirt. Here's you a gift. Hope that you'll wear that.
Yes, sir.
And enjoy it. And tell everybody about our podcast, and be sure to like our pages and all that good stuff, and we'll try our best to help you all out. Folks, come back next episode, and I hope that you will have a great day.